Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, I look into sports, wellness, and fitness to introduce you to some key celebrities throughout the greater La Crosse area. Today, the spotlight shines brightly on the Holmen Viking football program. In case you didn't know, one of the best programs in the area by far, each and every year. With us today, three of those key seniors, Caleb Butler, Guenther Horman, and Tatum Grass. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, as we tape this show, just finished a win over Toma. You're 3-0 in the conference. Started with 2 losses, non-conference. The philosophy of Holmen High School football is to schedule tough opponents right away. Not cupcakes, tough opponents to get you ready for the MVC race. Well, starting with you, Caleb. Thoughts on the season so far?
I think it's been going good. Like, in my personal opinion, it's the best team we've had. So, like, it's the best when it comes to playing like a team. And what I mean by that is that, like, guys are always giving their, like, best effort on every play because they know that that's what the guy next to them is doing. So I think that our season is going to continue like, at the rate it's at right now.
Team cohesiveness, right? Is what you're saying,
right?
So Guenther, after the first 2 losses to Big Rivers Conference opponents, did you have any doubts? Did you have any thoughts about you and about the team?
Not really. I mean, we didn't really play the best those 2 games, and we had 11 people gone from suspensions and injuries. So we knew we were not at our full potential, and there's some doubts, but we all came together before we played Central, and we were like, listen here, guys, we got to pull our stuff together, and if we want to be where we want to be at the end of the season, we got to start it right now.
And Tate, all of you had to assume a little bit more responsibility, a little more accountability. You had to raise your level of play after some players did not dress. So far, you have caught 7 passes, I think 110 yards, whatever. But of course, the identity of the Holmen High School football program, now with Travis Kowalski and before with Steve King, is run the ball. And you don't hide the identity. And those of you that are watching games, we have KQEG Game of the Week, oftentimes profiling your game as our selected team. And there's no question that you run the ball. That is your style. But you have the talent to do that. Although, you'd like to catch the ball a little bit more, perhaps.
Yeah, a little bit. I think we just throw the ball when we know we can catch them off guard. I know running has really worked out for us, so Coach kind of thinks, why stop? I mean, we put up pretty good rushing yards the first couple games, so.
Yeah, you have. And of course, Caleb and Guenther, you, more than maybe most other teams, many other teams at least, you're the key to the offense, whereas sometimes teams, people look at skilled position players as the key, and of course they are, but not so much with Holmen. It's based on line play, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, it is. Because our offense is set up in the way where you got to get a push off the line. Like, you got to move the line of scrimmage a couple of yards, otherwise it doesn't work. So the key for us is, because he's the center and I'm one of the guards, we're kind of the head of the offensive line, and we call out the certain kind of blocks we're going to make, and our goal is to push the line of scrimmage at least 2 yards forward every time.
So knowing that it's a running play 90% of the time, knowing that the defense knows it, what would you say, Guenther, your biggest skill set is?
My biggest skill set, I got powerful steps, so if there's a guy in front of me, I'm much better at hitting him than a linebacker. So most of the time, our coach looks for plays that we can hit towards our strength, because I'm not the best open field blocker, but if you get somebody one-on-one with me, I can move them pretty far.
But sometimes you need to chip block and then go get a linebacker. I mean, that's part of the scheme, audibilize. Sometimes if there is, they change in their base set. And, of course, you're an extremely strong blocker, too. What's your skill set, Caleb?
I think my speed off the ball and my pad level off the ball, like I usually come off the ball very low, so then you can play with leverage, so you don't have to be quite the size of some of the defensive linemen that we play against. Like, for example, Menominee's nose tackle was probably over 300 pounds and 3 or 4 inches taller than me. But when you play with leverage and like get under their shoulder pads with your hands and your head, it's easier to move them when they're standing up, and you basically have a running start at them.
So pad level, exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm fully aware of that. Well, Caleb, 3-sport athlete: football, wrestling, track and field.
Is there?
So difficult to be a 3-sport athlete plus go to class once in a while?
I think, well, you can look at it as being difficult, or you can look at it as being fun. And I just have so much fun playing football. And then Guenther's my wrestling partner, so I see him for plenty of time during the day. So it's more so fun for me getting to do all these sports and like being able to play all these sports. And then obviously still going to class and whatnot. I try to take care of that as best as I can. But it's more fun than hard, I would say.
And so you have not, student first, athlete second.
Correct.
Yes?
Yep.
I mean, everybody says that. Not everybody follows that script, though. We all know that.
All right.
But you have some academic honors, too.
That is correct. I do my best to keep my grades where I believe they should be and where my parents expect them to be. So I just put in extra time after practice and stuff to make sure I get all my homework done and things like that.
And of course, Guenther, you have the same commitment academically because you've been all conference academic, and are you gifted academically?
For the most part, sometimes. I mean, I have a really good memory, so that helps me. But I also try in school and push myself to be better and look over information on a daily basis.
And so, what's your favorite class?
I like the sciences, so chemistry, biology, environmental science, stuff like that.
Some of the toughest AP classes.
Yep.
And of course, Tatum Grass, who many colleges would like to see him play next year. You spend a lot of time with your studies too.
Yep. Yeah. School is important to me. I know that in order to get into a college I want to go to, I have to keep my GPA at a high level. So I would say most of my grades are achieved by hard work. I don't think I'm very gifted in school, but I just work hard on my homework and I pay attention in class, so it helps me out.
That's kind of why you're sitting next to me, because I wasn't terribly gifted either, but I made up for it with the effort that I put forth, which I guess makes you appreciate things a little more.
Yeah.
Favorite subject?
I'd have to say my favorite class, or most interesting class I've took so far, was anatomy and physiology. Thought that was pretty cool. Just
challenging class, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It was just cool talking about the body and how it works. I'm just interested in that stuff.
Well, yeah, and of course you're all leaders. That's why you're here, and that's why your coach, who's a friend of mine, suggested that his pride and joy on the team be part of Seven Rivers Sports. But Caleb, leadership. You're a captain. You've taken classes in leadership.
That's correct.
So you're trying to attain a high level of leadership.
That's correct. I try to attain it because that's where I think I will end up in some sort of like job as a leadership position. That's what I hope to attain, and I think it's also because our team needs leaders. Seniors need to be leaders because our season will be only as good as the seniors want it to be and lead the rest of the team to be.
Yeah, and of course, Guenther, you're involved in National Honor Society DECA, so you are a leader that demonstrates it in addition to being on the field and wrestling. You do it in school.
Yeah.
Talk about your involvement with those two groups.
NHS is National Honor Society. It's where you have to have a certain GPA and certain things like community service, and it's based off community service and tutoring hours. So it's you have to be giving back with your gifts, kind of.
And you have those gifts, and if you have a gift, you have an obligation to share that gift. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Tate, do you have any gifts? You have a lot of gifts.
Yeah, I'd say I'm gifted with height, I guess. I know these guys always complain about being a little short, but yeah, I'd say that's probably something I'm pretty happy that I have.
But you're gifted academically, you're gifted as a leader, and you're a captain.
Yep.
And so with that comes some expectations too. And we're going to kind of maybe drill down about some of those expectations and what it means to be a Holmen High School student athlete when we come back. So we'll be back right after these messages.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again. A spotlight on Holmen High School football. We all know the success of that program. Caleb Butler, Guenther Horman, Tatum Grass. I happened to talk to your coach this week, who's a friend of mine. And I'm going to read you what he said about you three, starting with Caleb. Best center I've seen in the area. Has no concern for his body at all, except to get it bigger and better. One of the most positive people I've been around in my entire coaching. And here's an example he said on the final drive versus Central. By the way, we covered that Central Holmen game. We called a timeout, and he said, and Caleb said, this is what football is for, having fun. We're just giving up a tying TD, and the players talking about having fun. That's unusual. What's your thought on that quote from your head coach?
Well, I'll kind of break down a little bit. So first thing I remember you said was about not caring about my body. I think he gets that from, I kind of lead with my head a little bit too much. Like I hit the guy with my head first and then my hands hit him. And that's just kind of the nature of like what my stance is like and whatnot. But what I said during that Central game was that, I mean, like, we're seniors. This is our last go-around for high school football. Like, we're supposed to enjoy those, like, game-winning drives and everything like that, because that's all we've ever worked for, was to win those kind of games, like those close games. Is like, that's what we've been putting all this work in for the past 4 years. So it's like, let's just go out, win it, and have some fun doing it.
And to sort of paraphrase what you said, I think seizing the moment is probably what you meant. Like, this is a defining moment. Correct. Enjoy the moment. And number two, when he said you didn't care about your body, that means giving up your body for the sake of the play or the team or the game or the season.
That's great. That's what kind of the position calls for, so I just embrace it.
And Guenther Horman, only 2-time captain that he is aware of, he meaning the head coach, in the history of Holmen football. Wow. Yeah. Guenther leads by example and plays with a chip on his shoulder, a positive chip on his shoulder. Earned a spot on offense through work ethic and determination, he says. And you enjoy touchdowns, and you have your own little celebratory way to acknowledge a touchdown. And high praise for Guenther Horman.
Yeah, built off the celebrations. I always pick, like, or at least last year I had like a senior when I was a junior that we were really close friends with, and that's kind of the guy that I took the spot from through hard work and determination, like he said. And towards the end of the year, we just decided to do a little touchdown dance, because I'm on the line. You don't really get to do much. So after we scored and kicked the extra point, I'd run over to him and we'd do some sort of handshake and stuff. And this year I picked it up with one of my friends that's a senior.
Good for you. You're celebrating because you're a big part of it. Well, should we talk about Tatum Grass too? I think we will. Here's what Coach says about you. And I know this already, by the way. Best player in our area is one of the best in the state. is what he says. Actively recruited by Wisconsin, Michigan State, and several D1, D2, obviously D3 schools. I know that. Very quiet, humble, and does anything that you're asked of and never complains. You're the only two-way player on the team, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, the rest of it's platoon. And every girl in the school wants to date him. It's like, was that for me or for him? It wasn't me, I guarantee you. But it is you.
Yeah, Coach tells me a lot that all these girls. I really want to focus on football. And about that, being a talented player, I think I have worked to be where I am. I don't think my freshman year I thought I was going to be recruited by all these schools, but Coach Luloff, he's helped us develop some really good weight programs, so me and these guys have been working really hard, and it's shown to pay off. And about doing what's best for the team, I used to play running back in my freshman days, so that was pretty fun, but Coach said he thinks I'd fit better at tight end, so I made the switch my freshman year, and I think it's worked out really well. And
your two-way starter, and we talked about your stats, 7 catches, and that may be the end of the catches, but no, just kidding. But they don't throw the ball very much. But when the Vikings throw the ball, you are the featured receiver. There's no question about that. But you talk about your recruitment real quick, because obviously a lot of schools are after you.
Right. So far I have 4 D2 offers from Sioux Falls, Bemidji, Winona State, and Duluth. And then I haven't decided to commit anywhere yet because I want to wait till the end of the season just to see what some D1 schools are thinking, like maybe a preferred walk-on or maybe an offer.
Good. That could very well happen. Well, we talked about your leadership and so on. Who's your role model, Tate?
My parents. I mean, they've been such a big influence in my life, just teaching me what's right and wrong. And I think the reason I do try and make the right choices all the time is because I want to make them proud. So
good for you. Who has inspired you, Guenther?
My mom. She has a really good work ethic, and I kind of put that to work in my own way. And she just kind of showed me like how to be a good person and what it takes to lead people and how to better yourself for the future. And every day she just talks to me about like, what could you do to be a better person today? And she makes me answer it, and sometimes I think it's a little dumb, but it's helped me get.
Give us an example of how you answer that.
Well, like a couple days ago, for DECA we have to work in the Maroon Mug, which is like our coffee shop, and so it's kind of like service for people. And I was putting away one of the big coffee jugs, and I dropped it and exploded all over the floor. And I told my mom that I gotta be better with my hands, even though I'm a lineman.
Good for you. Well, role models, inspiration, people we look up to.
I would say it's definitely a mixture between my coaches and my parents, because they've both done so much for me when it comes to character development on the coach's side of things, and then also work ethic. And then my parents have taught me the importance of being kind and respectful and like always giving your best effort for everything.
Philosophy of life, Caleb, what would that be?
I would say you get what you earn is my philosophy of life.
Have you put the time and effort in so you feel good about your work ethic, your commitment to attain the level you're at right now?
I think that everything that I have achieved and have earned has been because of my support system and all of the hard work that I've put in with a little luck.
Favorite saying that you might have, Guenther, what would that be?
The saying I actually got from my dad. He told me, because I've never been the real like gifted athlete, I just had to work for it, and my dad always said that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and I take that to heart every day when I'm in the weight room.
Well said. For our viewers, especially young people. You have an interesting saying, Tate, that sort of identifies who you are, and I know the origin of the saying. I'm not sure if you do, but share that.
Are you thinking of the one that's, if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough? That quote. That's from Muhammad Ali, right?
It's from Muhammad Ali, and it's also from the first woman president in Africa.
Oh, really?
And if you read her story, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she talks about that, about if your dreams are just mediocre, that's about all you'll be. If your dreams don't scare you and inspire you, that's when you go to the next level. What advice would you give for young people that are watching the show, parents that are, want their son or daughter to be an outstanding high school student athlete? What advice would you share?
I would say first and foremost, put your grades first, because for most people, football doesn't last forever, or for everyone, football doesn't last forever. And if you have to do good in school so you can attain that career, and then you'll have that career for the rest of your life. You want to create good habits in school by doing the right things and working hard in everything you do in life. So,
Guenther, you're speaking in front of the Holmen Elementary School students. You're the keynote speaker. The place is packed with parents, community members, students, and your family. And they ask you the question, how can I be like Guenther Horman someday? What would you say?
I would say pick what you enjoy and stick with it. I mean, if you enjoy doing sports in school, obviously work hard at it, but you got to pick what you enjoy in life and keep that at heart most, because that will drive you to do better in everything else that you do.
Good, well said. And Caleb, you're on a national show. You're on ESPN, and they ask you like some advice that you would give. So if you had a younger brother and you had some people that wanted to attain your level of being a gifted student athlete, what would you tell them?
I would say that do everything you do 100%. Don't ever leave any situation, like class, like at the end of the term or whatever, any sport, don't ever leave it thinking that you could have done more. Just always work so that when you finish something, it's like you know that was the best you could have done.
College and career, Caleb?
I'm currently trying to apply to the Air Force Academy, where I would try to learn about aerospace engineering.
Good for you. And so that's quite a lofty goal. I think you're taking some of Tate's famous saying. And well, what are we going to see Guenther next year?
I'm applying to Marquette, and I want to be an oncologist when I get older, which is a cancer doctor.
I know.
So,
medical field, you're going to make quite a difference in this world.
Yeah, I like caring for people, so I figured one-on-one caring would be the best for me.
Good for you. That speaks volumes of who you are. In fact, you're going to win the Nobel Peace Prize because you're going to find a cure for cancer. I'm looking forward to that. And after, Tate, after you finish in your NFL career, and then you come back on the show again because you can't wait to come out again, right?
Yeah, right.
What are you going to do?
Well, I think after this year, or after these few months, we'll see what happens. I mean, right now I'm thinking between Winona and Madison. And I think wherever I go, I kind of want to major in kinesiology.
Good for you. So you're gifted academically too. Well, again, just finishing a win over Toma. You have Aquinas, Logan, Sparta, and Alaska. Your big rivalry game there, and you're hoping to advance into the playoffs. You're hoping to share or win an NBC title again. So I'm sure you have personal goals, team goals, and we wish you the best. Just make sure you stay healthy for the rest of the season. Yeah,
that's easy.
All right? I want to thank you for being on the show, too, guys. You've done a great job.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Again, our guests today, Caleb Butler, Guenther Horman, Tatum Grass. Well, we'll be back with some closing thoughts, some film clips of some recent games here on KQEG right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install Carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Today the spotlight on Holmen Football, one of the best programs in the area by far. Carl and I were at Swanson Field on Friday for an MVC showdown, West Salem at Logan. Both teams searching for a path to the postseason. The Panther defense was ready to play from the opening drive as they dominated the Rangers. Linebackers Brendan Holt and John Glassmaker chased Logan quarterback Calvin Maven all over the field, disrupting both his rhythm and his timing. As they recorded, 7 sacks. West Salem found the end zone early, scoring on a 1-yard run by Brendan Holt, a Zach Hutchinson PAT, and 7-0 West Salem after 1. Holt again found pay dirt in the second quarter, 13-0 Panthers at intermission. Guess what? Senior Brendan Holt for 59 yards in the third, followed by a 63-yard pass, quarterback Joe Wopat to wide receiver Trenton Foreman. Logan finally scored on a 35-yard pass from quarterback Kelvin Maven to sophomore receiver Jack McHugh-Sake. West Salem finished off the Rangers in the fourth on another Brendan Holt TD run, his 7th TD in the past 2 games. Final score from Swanson Field, West Salem 35, Logan 7. Logan in a big game at Holmen on Friday, and we'll be there to cover that game. West Salem hosts Sparta also on Friday night. Let's move to Roger Herring Field on the campus of UWL. Aquinas hosts Holmen in their homecoming game. The Vikings wasted no time scoring, 21 points in the first quarter. Shane Roth, Andrew Fisher, and Kevin Cable all scored TDs. The powerful Holmen offense continued to roll in the second quarter. Fisher, a 9-yard pass from quarterback Ryland Wall, a Nevin Wall 16-yard run, and 2 TDs from halfback Kevin Cable on runs of 86 and 4 yards. 51-0 Holmen at halftime. In the final quarter, a Caleb Riley 4-yard run for the Vikings. Holmen racked up 437 yards while the Blue Goals were held to just 29 total yards. Holmen moves to 4-2, hosting Logan on Friday, while Aquinas takes its 1-5 record to Toma on Friday night. Final from UWL, Holmen 58, Aquinas 0. Well, that's it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.